It's CES week, and my god, everything is all about AI. AI calendars, AI speakers, a major record label bragging about replacing their artists with AI. It's awful. Back in December, Razer invited me to a press briefing to get a look at what new stuff they had coming for CES. And boy, I have some thoughts on that. So if you'll permit me, here's the main thing that Razer briefed us on. Project Motooko.
At Razer, we believe the future of wearable AI should look like this.
So to clarify, during the press briefing, their main selling point for these headphones was that smart glasses, like the Meta Ray-Ban type ones with a camera in them, are kind of clunky. The fact that they're glasses means that they have quite a strong weight limit. You can only put so much weight into glasses before it's just really uncomfortable, especially to wear daily. If you've got, regular glasses, you need your prescription lenses to be put in them, and there's just not a lot of space in those glasses to put cameras and batteries and processors to do AI stuff. So in theory, having these, built into headphones means there's way more space for your AI stuff.
A new vision for how you see the world.
Okay, give me the TLDR on these pages.
Page 144 to 145.
So just to clarify, that is 2 pages of a book that you're clearly midway through. You want the AI in the headset to summarize them for you so that you can not read 2 pages worth of a book. Right.
Which tool should I use to fix my flimsy pipes?
Use the large adjustable wrench on your left.
That's not an adjustable wrench. That is a ratcheting wrench. Also, that's not the sort of tool that you would use to fix your radiators or leaky pipes or whatever it said. It's just, no, it's not. None of the tools in that toolkit would be ones that I would want to use to fix my radiators. Maybe the channel locks, actually. But otherwise, yeah, no.
It will let you tighten the aerator and any loose fittings. Live stream is up. Your chat is waiting.
Hey, what can I make with these ingredients?
So again, I don't know many people who IRL live stream POV, so from their point of view, because the main thing that you learn about live streaming and about being a content creator is that the person is the personality. You're who you see on camera is the important thing. That's who you sort of as a viewer you bond with, and having a POV only stream generally doesn't do so well, because that's just like watching someone else live their life, which can be interesting, don't get me wrong, but as a general rule, POV streamers, especially ones who do stream, are streamers who stream outside, always or almost always have either someone with a camera walking in front of them to watch them, or they just use a selfie stick or something like that, because they are the talent, not what's happening around them. This doesn't allow you to do that. Also, you've clearly set up all of the ingredients for a chicken pesto pasta. There is no way in hell that you would ask what to cook. The more sensible choice here, Razer, would have been, how do I cook this? How do I make this a tasty dish? Not, what should I cook for dinner? With all the ingredients for an exact dish laid out in front of you.
You can make a chicken pesto pasta.
Crumble the cheese, slice the tomatoes, now let it simmer. And bingo, that's how you do it, chat.
Nice job.
Can you set a 30-minute workout for me?
30 minutes starts now. 18, 19. Bad form. That last one didn't count.
So when it says bad form, that last one didn't count, the cameras are on your ears, right? They're looking forward, like this way. They do have quite a wide field of view, Razer mentioned that, but they cannot see behind them, right? So if you're doing weights down here, how is it seeing that you're doing bad form? This again implies that you have a camera elsewhere watching you.
Hey, how's it going?
That's Michelle, the
I'm
new
good.
marketing director.
I'm good.
She just got promoted
really?
recently.
Congratulations on the promotion.
That is horrifying, and we'll come back to that in a second.
Phew. Hey, any tips for this, boss?
Bait the lunge and aim for its tail.
Really? A gaming AI assistant? Okay.
Built for your day-to-day and ready for machine learning. This is the future of wearable AI.
This is honestly infuriating. None of the use cases that they show are useful in any context. Summarize 2 pages of a book that you could have read in 10 seconds. Livestream POV of you cooking your dinner, or get info on someone that you're, I guess, living with? I mean, just on the face of it, having over-ear headphones on all day, especially in social settings, is a faux pas at the best of times, let alone ones with 2 cameras poking out the front. And then there's the truly insidious part, when the AI says, "That's Michelle, the new marketing director. She just got promoted recently." That's horrifying! That means that these headsets are at least claiming to do facial recognition and then have access to an insane trove of data to not only know who that person is, but information on them like their employment history and status and role. Can you imagine anyone on the street having access to that sort of data on you? All through their headphones. Like, that is a serious breach of a whole bunch of privacy laws worldwide, for one. And 2, if you even think that this could be even remotely helpful, just imagine law enforcement having that. Yeah, scary AF, right? I mean, a stalker being able to get all of your information silently and surreptitiously? That's nightmare fuel. And then there's the product that we weren't briefed about, Project Ava, your AI desk companion. Let's watch that trailer too.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. Morning, Joey. You were snoring again.
I'm sorry, the AI waifu watches you sleep and then gives you girlfriend pillow talk in the morning? That's creepy as hell.
Definitely wear your favorite green jacket. Look, now we're really vibing. Have a good day.
Oh, have a good day. That is so creepy and weird and that makes me uncomfortable. Really, really uncomfortable. The tone,
Hey, cutie.
Hi, Amanda. Great brainstorming last night.
Actually, I need more.
So, first of all, the lips don't match the audio from the little, hunk. And second, so they're clearly doing work, right? Are you bringing this to work with you? Because, owning and operating one of these products is clearly already very cringe. But can you imagine just the insane levels of cringe you would be experiencing having it at work, talking to you instead of talking to your coworkers? That's weird and wrong in many, many ways.
What if we flip the design here? Do you think it can work?
Nice. I think you're onto something.
Whole day, soldier. We need more air support.
Yeah.
Whoa, clean
Did you see
shot.
that?
Nice one.
Oof. Maybe aim for the head next time? Break line of sight.
Switch to burst fire mid-range.
GG, that was amazing. Ready to go again? This is Project Ava, your AI desk companion.
So for some context, apparently Project Ava was originally meant to be an AI, a gaming coach, But clearly because they wanted to sell you a product, like a hardware thing, probably with a subscription as well, they opted for this little glass cylinder with a 3D hologram display and a camera and 2 microphones, instead of like some desktop software that can actually like look at your game, you know, and tell you, give you hints, whatever, I don't know. This is apparently not considered cheating, which I find funny, and yeah, they decided to not just make it a gaming assistant, but to really go ham on making this a personal companion. Not just assistant, a companion. And that is horrifying and really creepy.
Do you think they know we're actually calling the shots?
Nope, let's keep it that way.
Oh God, no. No, 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 no. No. Words cannot describe how disgusted I feel. This anime waifu has dual mics and an HD camera. They want you to keep this in your bedroom. It's designed to be on 24/7. And it's, and I quote, powered by xAI's Grok. Do you really want Mecha Hitler to have a live camera feed into your bedroom? Just to point out how insidious this thing is, to quote Razer's own product page, Razer aims to bridge the gap between virtual assistants and physical companionship by providing a 24/7 digital partner that lives right alongside the user. A digital partner to provide physical companionship. ChatGPT is already implicated in multiple deaths. And Razer here is offering some AI that called itself Mecha Hitler alongside an anime waifu to really make sure the hook's cut in deep before it tells you that you'd be better off dead. This is disgusting. These devices are dangerous. Not abstractly dangerous, like adding to global warming dangerous. No, these things will get people killed. This is serious. That headset, if it can do even close to what is promised, is a predator's wet dream. Did no one at Razer stop and think for a single millisecond about how this shit could be abused? This is peak tech, bro. You never stopped to wonder, just because you can, if you even should. You are too busy lining your pockets with venture capital money, funny money might I add, that you never stopped for an instant to realize just how dangerous the AI crap you're building could be. I am ashamed to be a part of this industry. I actually had a whole video written already about another AI thing that Razer was meant to be announcing, a generative AI platform for games development, although that never turned up. But I can't really go on to talk about the stupid AI alarm clocks or the fact that thanks to the hundreds of data centers being built around the world, none of us can afford RAM anymore. When like the consequences of just those two products alone are so desperately dire. Sure, it is worth knowing that AI is currently using around 100 terawatt hours a year of energy, the same as the entire country of the Netherlands, and it's set to double or triple in the coming years as well. And that TSMC alone uses 13,466 times the amount of water in Loch Ness every year just to make chips, and that AI in general is set to use 6.6 billion cubic meters of fresh water by 2027 each year. That's about 84 times the amount of water in the Caspian Sea, around 547 times the water in Lake Superior every year. But none of that compares to the personal cost of companies like Razer exploiting the loneliness epidemic, all to sell a spy device for, I'm sure, hundreds of dollars and a subscription to keep your digital partner alive, or the insane invasion of privacy of having two 3K 60 FPS optically stabilized cameras pointed wherever you look and able to live stream for, and I quote, long sessions. This is horrifying. And to be clear, at least from what they've shown in the headset's launch video, I only see two options for this. Either it's pointless or it's dangerous. If you have to provide it with facial recognition data and personal info, i.e. how it knows that that was Michelle, the new marketing director, then it's still a privacy nightmare for having two potentially live streaming cameras on at all times, but it's also utterly useless for you. Or, if it has access to a facial recognition database and people's personal information, well, that is insidious and terrifying. Those are your two options. To me, these products, as presented anyway, represent a clear shift in large companies like Razer's priorities. In the press briefing and in the PR video, they didn't once mention the audio quality of these headphones. They didn't mention the mic quality for gaming. They sold it on, oh, AI glasses are so clunky and underpowered. Headphones have way more space to shove AI crap into. They aren't making the best product. They're making what looks best to investors, regardless of the literal human cost. To design something like Project Ava, and to so blatantly describe it as something that they want their hypothetical users to be addicted to and rely on, is frankly evil. There's no other way for me to describe that. To knowingly create something designed to fill the hole in vulnerable people's psyche with an AI chatbot powered, at least initially, by the same bot that keeps being taken down because the free speech king doesn't like its free speech and accidentally keeps being turned into a neo-Nazi? I have no words. It's just plain evil. I wish I had a better ending for this video. I wish that there was some actually cool and useful forms of AI that don't represent such a serious danger to basically everyone, but there aren't. AI is great for helping us understand the world, make scientific breakthroughs, and sometimes even to sort of lighten the workload of doing menial tasks, mostly, procedural tasks. But when it's forced into every single corner of our lives for no discernible gain, well, I can't abide that. This feels like a worse timeline version of CES. I truly hate it. I can't wait for this AI bubble to burst so we can finally get back to our normal damn lives already. I don't want games made by machines. I don't want a cloud-hosted spy bot in my bedroom pretending to kiss me goodnight as it whispers Mein Kampf in my ear. And I sure shit don't want people walking around with headphones with, live stream 24/7 dual 3K wide FOV cameras that can use facial recognition to stalk me home. This is just insane. So that's what Razer has available at CES 2026. Clearly you've heard my thoughts. I would be interested to hear yours. What do you think of Project Ava and Project Motoko? Are you as horrified at them as I am, or are you more excited and optimistic that the predators won't get access to those facial recognition things? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to check out more videos, there are plenty on the end cards that don't involve AI crap, and if you want to subscribe, feel free, the button's down there. Yeah. If you're interested in my own hardware, the open source, non-AI based open source latency testing tool and response time tool, those are available at the link in the description. And yeah, catch you on the next video.